Okay. So hi. So this is the Monetizer Retirement Guide, which I, Dr. Nix, have put together for you to be able to work out how much you need for retirement, but not only that, how much you need to invest from today until the time that you plan to retire in order to retire comfortably. Just a few principles that will guide this guide. One is that staying consistent is so powerful, and that's not just a feeling, that is a fact. The more consistent you are, the more amounts you'll accumulate and reach your final goal. So habits and planning definitely have more influence. You've got to stay consistent, stick to the plan, and you will get the outcome. Simple. That's why this is a template to help you stick to a plan. If there's any typos in here, sorry. The other thing to say is this is a rough guide. So some of the figures may not be exact, but it is the principle that I want you to take from this. So let me begin. The retirement number, or freedom number as I call it in my program, should be what you're aiming for. So this is the number that you want to retire on at the age that you want to retire. I've put a few instructions here for you to read in your own time, as this is me speaking through the guide. We don't need to read this together. I can just talk you through. So for the first step, you just decide what's important for you in your life, how you see your retirement going, kind of things that you expect to do, and the costs associated with them. Simply fit it in here on the side, that's easily doable. And then you can, once you've done that, so for example, £50 here monthly, it will give you the number for the year. And this will all add up to a sum at the bottom. And then this sum at the bottom is how much you need each year in order to retire. Like, let's say, for example, I don't know, you want to travel every year. Let's say that costs you 1,500. Sorry, every month. That will cost you £18,000 a year, or $18,000 a year. So this, some of it is in pounds, some of it is in dollars. This is a rough estimate. I probably will change that before this goes out. And then this will give you the sum. And then this sum is the yearly figure, right? And so then you put your freedom number down here. Let's just say it's 19,800. And then there's two ways to look at this, right? So this calculator is actually done if you're using a LISA or a tax-free vehicle in your country. So in America, it would probably be your Roth IRA. In the UK, it is an ISA, which is tax-free savings and investments. And so the reason why this is calculated on tax-free amount is because the assumption is you already have a work-based pension or other investments that are working for you. But this is for if you want to retire outside of that, because with your work-based pensions or with your LISAs, there is an age limit for which you can retire. And so, say for example, you want to retire at 40. You're 20 now, you want to retire at 40. This is your own sort of individual way to do that. And this is why I've added a pre-tax step. But if you use the ISA route, you won't need to do this pre-tax step. But if you want to add a pre-tax step, because income, unfortunately, in the UK is taxed, even when you are retired, this is how to calculate your pre-tax number. So you would just times it by the amount of tax. So if it's 40% times 1.4, and that will give you a pre-tax number. But we're skipping that step because we're using ISAs, which are not taxed at the moment. You figure out your retirement figure. So let's just say it's, you've worked out you need 19,800 for the year, or in this worked example, £30,000 or dollars per year. And you want to be retired for 25 years. So the age of life expectancy in the UK is probably about between 75 and 80. So let's say you want to retire at 55 and you predict that you might die at 80, 25 years with an annual return of 8%, and you currently have 30,000 saved. That means this is how much you're going to require to be saved in order to have £30,000 a year for 25 years. And so minus the 30 you already have saved, your deficit is 290,000. This is just a work example. If you want to do it higher, if you want to have more in your retirement, feel free to fill that in your own time. This then, 290,243, becomes your freedom number. And this is the number you are trying to achieve. So now on to some more important things, or the stuff that you're here for. How much do you need to save in order to hit your freedom number? So you determine your monthly savings amount by adding this freedom number here. You add your age, the age that you want to retire, and your expected annual return percentages. So historically, 8% from the S&P 500 is what has been reported. But if you want to be conservative, you can do 5%. Or if you want to be ambitious, you can also put 10%, or you can put whichever percentage based on the investment that you have. Completely up to you. The calculator will calculate that. So let's say, for example, your freedom number is here. Let's say you're 30 years old and you want to retire at 56. And you're getting an annual return of 0.08%. That means you have to invest £292 a month for 26 years in order to be able to retire on £30,000 a year for 25 years. Not too bad, is it? If you think about it, because if you can live on 30,000 a year, you're probably earning more than that now, and so £300 a month isn't too shabby for that investment. So yeah, you'd be contributing this amount. You can put it in an index fund, mutual fund, ETF, or private pension, but do it via an ISA if you're in the UK. And if you're in a different country like America, use a tax-free vehicle. And then you just put your monthly contribution number here and then add it into your personal finances. Find that money. And then you can retire at the age that you wanted to retire. In the UK, I must say that there is a cap on the amount you can put in your ISA. It's £20,000 each year. And so if you haven't started, start now so that you don't have to save for as many years. I've also added another step here. This is just to calculate your net worth, just to give yourself a mental picture of where you actually are. When you write things down, things become more real to you. Okay. And the last thing, this is kind of like a bonus thing, is a ongoing financial health check. So basically, you can do this in your own time. It doesn't really need explaining. It's self-explanatory. It's just to review your finances quarterly. And that is it, the Monetizer Retirement Guide. If you would like help going through this guide, or you need further explanations about retirement planning, then feel free to reach out to me at hello@drnix.com. I'm on Instagram. My handle is Dr. Nix. Also on YouTube, which is probably where you're watching this. So subscribe. Share this with someone who you think might benefit from it. And also watch my video on retirement planning, because this is a tool, but actually watch the video on retirement planning and where you can invest your funds. I have a whole series on investments and mutual funds, ETFs, index funds, breaking everything down. And make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next video or the next tool. If you're watching this from a newsletter, or if you've just completed the workshop course, because this is who it's for, and you're getting an email, hit me up with some questions if it doesn't make sense. All right, see you next time.